Now, the gale of defections in Nigeria is altering the political geography of the country. Now, the sole beneficiary of the changing profile is the All Progressives Congress, the governing APC. With the current scenario, the APC has absolute majority in the National Assembly and is in control of 26 out of 36 states, with at least 2 more on the line. So what does this really portend for the nation's democracy? That's part of our question tonight on Newsnight.
Well, for an in-depth analysis on political party defections by governors and the alterations of the electoral map and 2027 projections, we are now joined by Ifendu. She's the president, Women in Politics Forum. She's joined by Ibrahim Modibbo, a public affairs analyst. Thank you both for being on Newsnight. We do appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Well, let me begin with you, Mrs. Ifendu. We've seen these defections in recent times by governors, including those on their way out of office, second-term governors. Who really benefits from these defections, and what are the implications on governance, if any?
Well, let me say that it's an embarrassing situation, if I must be honest with you. In politics, we expect that political parties, will have, different ideologies. It's either you're a socialist political party like you find in Labour Party, or you are a conservative political party. There must be an ideology. And then so when you see these people move from one party to the other, you begin to wonder, is it that political parties in Nigeria are not built, with kind of ideology, being, what is their stronghold or what they are presenting to the public? Because when we vote a political party, we vote based on those things that we believe that the political party, is presenting before us. And now you asked the beneficiaries.
Yes.
Who is benefiting? Just the whoever is defecting, because it's not based on ideology. It's not based because you want to, do something good for your community or for the people. It is just for your own gratification, and this is not good for us as a country. And I think that democracy in Nigeria is threatened. It's seriously threatened because people no longer believe in the people they have voted for. How can I vote for a candidate who promised me certain things based on the ideology of that political party? And let me also say here, a candidate of a political party is carrying the mandate of the party and not the person's personal mandate. And so you get elected based on what your party presented, and then you just dump that party to go to another political party. Are we turning to a one-state party in Nigeria? If there is no opposition, then there is no democracy. So I think it's very wrong, seeing what is happening in Nigeria today.
Thank you so much for your submission. Democracy without opposition, how really do you define that? Let me bring you in, Ibrahim Modibbo, public affairs analyst. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight. Let me take it from that point that Ebere here has just made. And I'm wondering, how troubling is it for you? Because there seems to be a decline or a receding of democratic ethos in Nigeria. Democratic ideology seems to be missing. That's what Ebere is saying. I recall when we used to have the UPN, you knew what UPN stood for. There was the NPN, there was the NPP, there was GNPP. Etc., etc., etc. There was also PRP. What does this really mean? I mean, where is political ideology in Nigeria? Why is it missing?
Thank you very much, Madam Ngozi, for this wonderful question at this moment of our national history. Now, Nigerians are under no illusion as to the myriad of problems confronting this country politically. Coincidentally, as a journalist, I covered the 1979 elections, and subsequently, other elections I covered. And I have been in sync and in tune with the political development of this country, where I served as a former national director of publicity of APP, ANPP for about 8 years. So I think this is a well-grounded platform. Now, and as a scholar who has a PhD in development communication that has to do with politics and also societal or environmental perspective of politics, I can tell you, without free of charge, that Nigeria today is moving from the sublime to ridiculous, where mediocrity and iniquity rules within our political system. There's a need for us to broaden the spectrum. We have to broaden the spectrum with a view to opening the corridors of political inclusion and also the virtues associated with opposition. Nigeria, as it is today, is politics of stomach infrastructure. It is no longer a politics of ideology, unlike the ones we had in 1979, the PRP to the left, the NPA more to the right, GMPP, NPP, and what have you. We saw people of character and characterization, people that knows politics and know the onions in political permutations in this country. But sadly today, we are in a state of despair and despondency, where we see lavish display of political rascality, where people don't have ideology, people are just after their stomach infrastructure. It's so sad that today in this country there's a need for us to be guided by reason. Politicians should think about Nigerians, not thinking about what they will get personally, and therefore that is where the danger lies. There's a need for us, Madam Ngozi, to break the glass ceilings with a view to plucking the low-hanging fruits so as to make politics tick. What I want is that the opposition should rise up to the occasion. Otherwise, Nigeria's politics is in danger. Why? Because the opposition, from all indications, everybody is greedy. They have not been able to form a cycle or to come under an umbrella where we have leaders that want to feel for this country. Leaders that could sit down, think of this country first rather than think of their geographical area, think of their religion, think of their own selfish interests. Everybody wants to be president. They should sit down and map out strategies among all these people, Atiku, Peter Obi, all these Kwankwaso and all that. They should sit down and think about Nigeria, the survival of this country. Otherwise, we'll come up with a kind of one-party state of which that's the trajectory as it is at the moment. And the threshold of this movement is that we are moving into a one-party state, and that is the danger in this democracy. One-party state presupposes that dictatorship is at hand. Whatever, you can see what is happening now. Whatever the president sends to the National Assembly is no longer a rubber stamp. It is more than a rubber stamp. In Hausa, they call Yang Anshi Shata, but these are Mama Shata. They are not even Yang Anshi Shata. You see, National Assembly, everything they stamp, everything passes. For God's sake, next time, after these 4 years, in this, if God gives President Tinubu long life and prosperity, he will be turning into Mugabe, all this Paul Biya, and what till he dies. So that is the danger of this democracy, that the opposition must wake up.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Madam Ifendu, so he does highlight some of the challenges there, to include even the opposition themselves. But I'd like us to remind our viewers that this is not the first time we've seen one party dominate both at the center and at the subnational level. When PDP was in power, they had as many as 28 states under their umbrella, no pun intended. So it's not the first time. Why is this being reinforced? And if you break it into regions as they stand today, if you look at the Southwest, for instance, we have an Ademola Adeleke who is now defected to the ADC.
From the PDP.
They are called, beg your pardon, they are called from the PDP. So we're seeing an accord, and we're seeing a Sheyi Makinde in Oyo State still remaining in the PDP, but the rest goes to the APC. It's not a new pattern, but it's been reinforced. Are there any avenues for the Nigerian people? Because again, he's mentioned the opposition seems to be sleeping. Madam Ifendu, that's for you.
Yeah, I think defection is also reason that opposition is really not vibrant as they should be, because it weakens opposition. You know, building a political party to a point, you need a very strong opposition when you also have members of your party occupy certain positions. I think what is going on for us in Nigeria today is that, like my colleague said, is stomach infrastructure. we want a situation where politicians will begin to think about the people, will begin to think about how to move the country forward. And so this is what the problem is. We are looking at a South, like you gave an example, using the Southwest. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, today we have, in your state, a PDP governor. And then if you follow what happened through the PDP primaries, you will see that even a PDP governor, also disenfranchised another sitting governor of PDP. You begin to wonder, what is PDP trying to do? Are they coming up as a strong opposition like they said? That is not happening. ADC themselves, they have not put themselves together to be a strong opposition. And because people will have to migrate from APC and all those other parties to form ADC, what will be the ideology? What are they going to take to the public? These are things we have to start, looking at. And then APC is, getting, will I say, stronger in quotes, because these are strange bedfellows just coming together just because they want to get power. They want to get, personal things to themselves. So I think that our democracy, and I think from here, I think I should be talking about what the law and judiciary can do to help, build our democracy. Because when people defect, there should be consequence. You were voted into that position, on a platform of a political party. The right thing is, if you are leaving that political party, you should also leave that position and recontest from your political party, your new party, and test your strength. Right. So this is just a huge problem that we are going through. And I tell you, this is also what is affecting women, because men are jumping from one political party to the other, and what they are doing is just to grab power as much as they can. What do they do with the power? Nothing but to embezzle, corruption, and things like that. And this is the reason we are saying that we have to make democracy or politics inclusive, where women will participate, where persons with disabilities will participate, where everyone will come on board, and then it will build our country better.
I'm so glad you brought in the issue of women, and inclusion. Of course, there's the seats for women that's being pushed at the National Assembly. Hopefully, we can still look more into that. Let me bring in Modibbo here. Look, you now have a situation where sitting governors of one political party are defecting. They're not just defecting, they're moving all with the whole structure of the state to another, to the governing party. Should there be consequences? You heard Ibrahim here say it's because there are no consequences. Should there be consequences? How do you ensure consequences? Is it an amendment of the Constitution? Will that help? And how will that stand side by side with the freedom of association that, the Constitution in Section 40 guarantees?
Now, if you look at the trajectory of development or political development of this country, you'll agree with me, Madam Ngozi, that there is no institutional opposition in this country. No institutional opposition. Why? Because people don't lack ideology. They lack what they stand for. And therefore, my only solace is that most of these governors that are defecting, they are just hiding behind their fingers. Most of them, as you can see, with the problems conundrum, with the problems economic emasculation of Nigeria as it is today, where people are hungry and angry. How do they go out tomorrow to go and contest and tell Nigerians that they should vote for somebody who is putting them in this current hell? Because the dividing line between Nigeria and hell is very thin. Because people are suffering. We are in a state of despair and despondency. And therefore, these governors, or the political class as it is today in this country, how many are we? Or how many are they? The whole political class, they are not up to 1 million. Or 500,000 at most, including the governors. But Nigerians are watching. Nigerians are in millions, and they will carry their votes, they will go there and vote, and they will make sure that they vote the right politicians to get into office. So forget about all these defections. Forget about this flamboyancy in terms of people going to meet under a kind of podium and start dancing that, look, they are defecting. These defections are just mere symbolism. And these defections, to me, are very cosmetic in the sense that they are not rhyming with the thinking of Nigerians. Nigerians want a government that has human face, a government that will look at their issues and then try to bring proper perspective to the problems they are confronted with. Today, if you look at the country today, apart from air, virtually everything is taxed. Everything in this country is taxed.
That's a
so
whole different
are we
ballgame.
comfortable with the government that is always taxing people, always bringing trouble or wahala on each and individual day to our political system or to Nigerians? Nigerians have the solution.
Okay.
Their ballot papers will be able to count. And if this government is sincere with the INEC chairman that has just come in with vitality and vigor, somebody that's come from the academics, a professor, not like the other that has gone. If he's sincere in bringing technology for votes to count, and if there is this trustworthy or this conviction of allowing the votes to count, believe me, Nigerians will be able to vote, and with or without the governors, they will find a good government.
Okay. All right. We will come back to Nigerians having the power to decide and why that hasn't stopped all of these defections in the past. But we can now confirm officially breaking news. Bayelsa State Deputy Governor Lawrence Ewujakpo has died. The People's Democratic Party has just confirmed his death. Lawrence Ewujakpo was earlier in the day rushed to the hospital after collapsing. He reportedly slumped at Creekhaven, the Bayelsa government house, while preparing for a meeting after presiding over 2 previous ones. He was particularly rushed to the Federal Medical Center in Yenegua, where he was placed in an intensive care unit. Well, again, the People's Democratic Party has confirmed the death of the Deputy Governor of Bayelsa State, Lawrence Ewujakpo. We'll bring you further details on this breaking news in our subsequent bulletins. Well, let's go back to our conversation, both of you. And Madam Ifendu, I want to come to you, because I asked earlier the power of the Nigerian people, and you made a very valid point that, our election ballot papers carry political parties and not individuals. Yeah. So what is the avenue, I ask again, left for the Nigerian people? Because it is the political parties they have. We don't have individual candidacy as of yet. It is the parties that present themselves and make it through to the ballot papers the Nigerians are left with. But we have political parties, like he said, sleeping oppositions, and of course the governing ones who are grabbing everything they can grab, in your words. So how do Nigerians really change this? Can they change it?
Yes, I think they can change it. Number one is how, are we going to look at our laws? Because we have to amend the constitution. We have to amend our electoral laws also. The truth is that some years back in Ondo State, Akure precisely, a federal legislator decamped from Labour Party to another political party. And the Labour Party challenged it and got judgment. Because the law says once you defect for legislators, you lose your seat.
Yeah, that's for legislators.
Yes, for legislators. No, for legislators. Yes.
So,
but we're looking at defection holistically in our states now. So if legislators will decamp and lose their seats, it will send a signal. Others will not want to do it. And if, for us as voters, we are able to make use of our cards, it will help, because we have seen, people elected who really are not, doing what they are expected to do, and they will still come back, with whatever promises again. How do you want us to trust them? Because there's, these are some of the things that will lead to voter apathy. People are not interested again. People will say they are all the same. When you talk about political parties, they say new ideology, PDP, APC, all the other political parties are called, and all the parties they are all the same, because you keep seeing people. These days I've lost count of people moving from one party to the other. You will meet someone that is in PDP today, by tomorrow he's telling you that, no, I'm no longer in PDP, I'm in this party. You begin to wonder,
Let me quickly bring in Ibrahim Modibbo. It was the former Vice President, Yemi Oshibajo, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, who said the political class actually belongs to one tribe when it comes to politics. Now, on the issue of the electorate, let's look at it. Are elections now in Nigeria really becoming more symbolic than a competition of ideas, where people will line up behind those ideas and say, this is who I am voting for. What do we do now to ensure that we don't just go to the polls just for the sake of it, that actually, that the people's vote really counts? Because you seem to be very optimistic that the voters will vote out, you know, these misbehaving politicians.
Thank you, Madam Gozi. First and foremost, before I go to the question, my heart goes out to the people and government of Bayelsa State over the loss of the deputy governor. May the gentle soul of this wonderful politician rest in perfect peace. I've never met him, but I think we should have a good prayers for him. Having done that, you see, Nigeria with confederation of the political class, mainly without ideology, without sense of direction, and people that have not been guided by reason or the political philosophies that has to be guided by the tenets and the feelings and the yearnings of the masses. Now, we are in a state of danger because Nigeria's democracy, based on my studies, as I've told you, under my PhD thesis, I did a lot of research in development communication that has to do with politics. Now, Madam Ngozi and Adeswa, the problem lies squarely on the people of this country. I do not believe that there will be free and fair election in that the political class will not guide the people. You can see in almost all the elections, they'll just sit by the corner, or in the night, they'll just get bank contacts of people, they send monies to them, or even at the square, even at the voting place. With the connivance of security agencies and what have you, we've seen that money seems to exchange hands for elections. And therefore, Nigerians, having been pauperized, having been made to suffer the consequences of poverty, they are looking for something to eat. Some people, you give them Indomie, or you give them Maggi, they will go and vote without caring, because they feel that that is the only thing they are entitled to under the democracy, since people are hungry.
Put you on hold. Let me put both of you on hold. Stomach infrastructure, Ezekwesili once said, the weaponization of poverty, it all seems to be playing out. But we do have a report on this conversation.
Before the 2023 election, the PDP had under its control about 1/4 of the 36 states of the country. 13 governors, including Nyesom Wike of Rivers State, Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, Sam Otom of Benue State, Okezie Ikpeazu of Abia State, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, Enugu State. Other PDP governors at the time were Udom Emmanuel, Bala Mohammed, who's still a PDP governor, Donye Diri of Bayelsa State, Ifeanyi Okowa, Delta State, Godwin Obaseki, Edo State, Darius Ishaku, Taraba State, Aminu Tambawal of Sokoto State, and Amodu Fintiri, Adamawa State, who is still a PDP governor. But all of that was short-lived as power changed hands in the 2023 governorship elections, with the PDP losing states like Abia to the Labour Party in 2023, and then Edo State to the APC in 2024. Then came Akwa Ibom's Umo Eno, then Enugu's Pitamba, and Bayelsa's Governor Donye Diri. And Osun State was not spared, as the dancing governor, Senator Demola Adeleke, ahead of the 2026 Osun governorship election, has left the opposition party, PDP, for the Accord Party. The latest defections come from the home state of the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, as Governor Sim Fubara only on Thursday officially decamped to the APC, insisting it is in the political interest of the state. From 13 governors in 2022, the PDP is down to 6 governors as of December 2025. Even as speculations hint that Taraba Governor Abu Kefas is set to decamp in January, and Plateau Governor Caleb Mufwang may be next in line. The question really is, how did the once vibrant PDP shrink from 14 governors in 2019 to 13 governors in 2023 and now 6 governors in 2025. Mary Chinda, Rise News.
Thank you very much, Mary, for that report. As we wrap up, gentleman and lady, thank you for your time on the news tonight. Let me just ask you, Madam Ifendu, as we wrap up, how does this really change the political landscape? We have a southeastern region for the first time having the APC in almost practically every state. Perhaps maybe Abia is the outlier in the southeast, if my political map is not wrong now. But what are the implications of this? We've seen the southwest where we have one Accord party, one PDP, APCs. In the southeast, for the first time, it has shifted completely. What are the implications of that ahead of the 2027 elections as we wrap up?
Well, for me, I think it's the electorates that will decide what will happen in 2027. I mean, the electorates are already, I mean, the decision is theirs. Let me not preempt what they will do, but I will think that it is the electorate that will correct the democratic imbalance that we have in Nigeria today. And I also do not think that there's even a guarantee that if you move from party A to party B that you will win the next election. There's no guarantee. It's about the people and what you have been able to put in place. Because if you think that the political party will move you forward, I don't know how you are going to do that. In the southeast, we still have Dr. Alex Oti, who is in Labour Party. I know he's doing tremendously well. So I'm beginning to wonder, even if, I don't think he will ever decamp, but if he's even going to decamp, I mean, it will not affect him. Never say never, really, because politicians really can't say. But I want to believe that for someone like him, having, done so well, for the first time in Abia State, we are seeing something different. Because I'm from Abia State, so I'm excited about talking about it.
Okay. Understandably so. Very quickly, Ibrahim Modibbo, basically the same, question to you. How do you ensure that we have democratic plurality in Nigeria? How do you ensure that it's not the end of multi-party democracy in Nigeria? How do you ensure that the people actually own the process and the outcome?
Now, Madam Ogozi, if we look at Nigeria as a country, is in dire strait of political permutations and political activities that will take us to the promised land. From all indications, we have to improve the optics with a view to, bringing up Nigerians to see that we're in a political space where democracy rules. As at the moment, the young are restless, the old are weary, and the political class seems to be in a state of confusion. And therefore, where are we heading to? There's a need for us to have constructive engagement with a view to having collective bargaining within the political class. We must, as a nation, make sure that we look at the people with their program for activities. If they have anything to offer to Nigerians, we should look at the other options. But if we feel we are comfortable with the current problem that we have, we are ready to go into 2027 and maybe 2031 or 2050, it is left to us. But I strongly believe Nigeria is a country that cannot be overrun or cannot be conquered by any political class. I can tell you.
That's an excellent place to leave it tonight.
I can tell you.
Very good place to leave it. Thank you so much for joining us. Ibrahim Modibbo is a public affairs analyst joining us tonight on Newsat, and Ebere Ifendu, President Women in Politics. Ifendu, hopefully we'll have you, sooner than later and discuss, of course,
women in politics.
Women in politics, and congratulations for your son who's getting married this weekend.
Thank you.
Congratulations.